Morning, everyone. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Let's do this. Awesome. So Mondays geared towards techniques. And a real quick refresher. Techniques are, simple or complicated exercises or tasks, usually physical and mental, but they must involve a physical component that if we perform, even if we don't understand them or experience the consequence of them, there's an intentional consequence, our practice will be supported. And so the technique we're going to work on today is the same technique we've been working on within the context of previous lessons, the previous lessons being the concept of Indra's web of jewels or Indra's net of jewels. And so a refresher, we've been bringing our hands to heart center. Once we felt for ourselves this sense of anu, this sense of internalizing our being or our attention into the infinity of the self. And so when we actually feel that, we bring our hands to heart center to acknowledge it. And then more powerful than that, even though it is exhilarating to feel that you are a universe into yourself or unto yourself, then we bring our thumb knuckles to third eye center, this hypersymbolic movement, and we acknowledge the awareness of this internalized experience, right? We pay attention to the fact that we are cognizant of experience X, Y, or Z. And so this attention to awareness, or this awareness of awareness, is the backbone of all meditative processes. It is the heart of mindfulness. So Thich Nhat Hanh's famous sort of prescription to well-being is: inhale, I am aware I'm breathing in. Exhale, I am aware I'm breathing out. And so that's essentially what we're doing when we bring our thumb knuckles to third eye center and we become cognizant of the fact that we have internalized. But before that, we're going to spend about 20 minutes doing this today. What exactly are we developing through this process of focusing on internalization and then focusing on the awareness of internalization? And so a Sanskrit term is called vivek, V-I-V-E-K-A, vivek. And what it means is discrimination. And so to exist well, to survive the battleground of circumstance, we as individuals must have discrimination. We must be able to recognize what is good and what is bad, what looks safe and what looks dangerous, what looks like an opportunity and what looks like a trap. And the better our capacity to distinguish, this experience from that experience, this sort of person from that sort of person, the more successful we are at navigating life, right? So discrimination. But viveka or vivek specifically means spiritual discrimination. That when we look into the experience of meditation, what generally sort of arises as description is, it was peaceful, it's nice. I meditated for 5 minutes today, I meditated for 10 minutes, and I felt good. But it never really goes further than that. And so we can use the metaphor of blackness to help us understand what spiritual discrimination is really sort of referring to and sort of encouraging us to develop. And so black, the color black is a confluence of all other colors. So it can be said to be a rainbow in a very real way. But who among us, whose eyes among us can differentiate all the colors of the world in blackness? None. And that would be because our eyes don't have the capacity to discriminate within that sort of pool of colors, right? So we can't see anything. But when we meditate, that general sense of well-being, that general sense of peace, that general sense of tranquility can be said to be a blackness that contains within it a myriad of other experiences. And at the center of that experience is awareness itself. And so viveka is the capacity to look into the blackness of your peace and differentiate every jewel, right? And so now this peace becomes sort of a sub-metaphor of Indra's web. Within that blackness of peace, we can recognize every single component, right? So now that experience that we enjoy becomes very, very rich and very detailed. And I think more than anything, it provokes a sense of wonder and a sense of enchantment and a willingness or curiosity to continue exploring. It's not just peace. There's a lot more to it. Okay? And then the last little bit is at the center point of all of this, back to Thich Nhat Hanh, back to the backbone of meditation, is can you differentiate or distinguish the awareness that perceives blackness or the rainbow of experience within that blackness? And so a final metaphor, an ancient metaphor, the goal of this practice is recognizing that Atman, that consciousness, and the term for this is vivek khyati, crystal clear discrimination. And so when you look into that piece as if it were a black surface and you hold a clear crystal or a shard of glass, that glass would become black. And then if you cover that glass or move that glass over the color red, that glass or crystal would become red. If you move that glass or crystal over the color blue, that glass or crystal would become blue. We often fixate on the color, the blue, the red, the black, the peace, the distraction, the irritability, the patience or the impatience. The true goal of this is to fixate on the glass or the crystal. Vivek khyati. Can I observe my awareness first and foremost, and that which I'm aware of, whether it's good or bad, as secondary. Okay? And so to help us do this technique, you're going to be meditating. Do what you do. Tranquilize your body by focusing on the exhale. Get a taste for the physical peace that comes as you exhale. And then as you breathe in, fixate on that physical peace, even as you breathe in. So every breath in and every breath out facilitates tranquility or shanti. You're sitting there. From time to time, contemplate and project the concept of internalization into yourself. Okay, I'm sitting here, it feels good, my mind's wandering, my mind's focused. Okay, internalization. Am I internalized? Is this what it feels like to be internalized? And as you contemplate, which is a huge part of this process, you will eventually feel or experience an answer. Yes, I am internalized. Oh my gosh, I made it into my own being. At that point, bring your hands to heart center and appreciate that you have beheld or sort of extracted the particular jewel of Anu, of the internal experience. And so you spend as much time as you want there. I would say stay with your hands at heart center until you feel internalization dissolve, until you start to distract again. At that point, bring your thumb knuckles to third eye center, provoke internalization again, and then notice that you are aware of said experience. Okay? And then you fixate on the awareness, the big point. After that point, bring your wrists back to your knees, straight arms, straight spine, and resume the entire technique again. This might be sort of like very short cycles. You might feel internalization very quickly and very consistently, and then recognize Anu or recognize Atman, that awareness very quickly and easily, or it might take more time. The speed is irrelevant as long as you sort of give yourself to the process and communicate to your own sort of rhythm and ability. Okay, nice. So we have 20 minutes to work on this. And this is sort of an association technique, if you want to think of it that way. Through action, right, hands to heart center, and through behavior, breathing peace, and through thought, thinking of peace and thinking of internalization, you create a complete experience for yourself. And this complete experience really advocates learning, right? We're learning about this and learning how to hold our bodies and minds in a new way. All righty, groovy stuff. Let's get into it, everyone. Wrists on knees, straight arms, elbows rotate down. Bring any finger to your thumb. Relax your shoulders. In general, it's safe to say your head might be sort of leaning or projecting forward a couple centimeters or an inch. Pull the head back slightly. Lean back into your vertical. Now get into the physicality of your breath. A nice way to organize your practice is outside to inside, physical to subtle. A deeper, longer breath will promote peace. So as you breathe into your stomach, feel the swelling and stretching of tissue. Same with the torso or the chest. As you exhale, control the exhale, slow it down intentionally, and then ride that consequence of tranquility, comfortable physical heaviness. softening. And then at this point, just find the innate pleasure of breath and push everything else away. And so we'll spend 2 minutes here in our opening ritual, a ritual of peace. If peace arises, hands to heart center, again, an association practice. If peace does not arise, keep your wrists on your knees and consider what's blocking this peace. What are you thinking of? What are you distracted by that's preventing you from experiencing the fundamental nature of reality to the yogic mind? Everyone, slow down your breath dramatically. And notice in that slowing down that there was impatience in your previous rhythm. That impatience lends itself to stress. And is the consequence of subconscious anxiety. A fast breath is a stressed mind, and a stressed mind is an obstacle to peace. You just have to slow down. So everyone take 3 more breaths in peace or in the absence of peace. And now from this point on, the association technique, you're associating with the concept of anu, internalization. Once you feel that, bring your hands to heart center. Take a few breaths there. And then deepening your practice, thumb knuckles to third eye center. Recognize your awareness of internalization. Again, an association exercise. Throughout the entire process, patient, patient, patient breaths. Always look out for unconscious quickening. Be skeptical of speed. One last time together, very, very slow inhale. Feel the stretch of the abdomen and chest. Peace on the inhale. Prolong the exhale. Peace on the exhale. And so when your wrists are on your knees, you are interacting with behavior, physicality, and sensation. You are controlling the organism to induce an emotional and psychological experience. And then all of a sudden, by controlling your breath, in general, breathing slower, you feel a peace. And with that peace, because of our focus point, internalization, you sense internalization. And you bring your hands to heart center. The body provoked an emotion. And then you attempt to contemplate that emotional experience and contemplate that physical circumstance. This is internalization. I am within myself. And then it fades. And then you bring your thumb knuckles to third eye center and attempt to contemplate an even more subtle dimension of the circumstance. I am aware of experience X. It may come naturally to you, or you might feel your mind churning the way it churns while trying to solve a crossword puzzle. And that's okay. Keep churning the mind. Keep thinking critically. And so this might run counterintuitive to our concept of meditation. Open, peace, quiet mind. But this is an aspect of the work. So at this point, everyone bring your hands to heart center and project the experience and idea of internalization into yourself. Feel the inner body. Now quickly and playfully, thumb knuckles to third eye center. You are aware of this internalization. Notice the awareness, the crystal or glass shard over the color of the internal. Hands back to heart center. Now just notice internalization. You're paying more attention to what's going on within you. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. Recognize the awareness, the clear crystal shard. Hands to heart center. Anu, the internal. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. Atman, the awareness. Playfully fast, hands to heart center. Hands to forehead. Hands to heart center. Hands to forehead. Wrist to knees, mind fixates on internalization. Mind fixates on awareness. Mind fixates on internalization. Mind fixates on awareness. And now become aware of everything, inside and outside. Focus and distraction. Pleasure and discomfort. Become aware of your grasping. Become aware of your openness. Slow, peaceful breaths. This is how we'll end. Slow down the breath. Beware of speed. And now notice how naturally you exist within yourself. How you are always within yourself. We just can't distinguish it because our minds and attention are pulled outwardly. Hence why the yogis advocated with such passion to internalize, to discover your true position. Take one more breath. I am always within. Knowing that, feeling that, understanding that is deeply comforting. With an inhale, open your eyes, repeating in the mind, I am always within. My mind might run outwardly, my eyes might look outwardly, my ears might listen outwardly, but I am within.